This video marks the beginning of a new series here on YouTube, my YouTube channel. And this series is about building the basic scenarios or basic workflows with no-code automation and AI. You may or may not be familiar with this automation checklist that I have created, and the links are always every single YouTube video that I make, where among other things we have two checklists here, the beginners one and the advanced ones. And I've been focusing much more creating tutorials for the advanced ones. So for instance, the AI agent for data analysis. I have this video on YouTube and you can check that out. It's tutorial format, so you can actually build along. But for the beginners one, I don't have any video, I guess. So I'm going to focus as well on the beginners one so you can use it to build along. And to start, I'm not going to start with the automate meetings and appointment setting. Honestly, this one's probably the easiest one and require probably not even a no-code solution. Anyway, I am starting with the Google reviews with AI one. And for that, we are going to use mainly two no-code solutions and its integrations, of course, being Make and Zapier. So if you are familiar with the channel, you know that I built most of my things with N8N these days. And I wanted to change a bit for this beginner-friendly tutorial, and I'm going to use instead Make and Zapier. So let's do it. And if you're not convinced on how important Google reviews are, I'm gonna drop a link to a video that I've made for my social channels as well. And I have all the stats showing why it's so important for any business, but the numbers speaks for themselves. And whether you already have some reviews coming in or you don't have at all, this solution is going to do two things. One, automate the Google reviews ask, let's say. Meaning, as soon as you receive a payment, that's what we're going to use as trigger for this video, but it can be any other trigger you want. We are going to ask for the client to rate your services or your product from 0 to 5. And if the reply is 4 or 5, we're going to send him the link for a public Google review. By the way, this is being done in the Make scenario here. And for the part where we reply to those reviews publicly is being handled by Zapier, this Zap here that I'm going to build with you together as well. That's enough of introduction. Let's start building. Alright, so let's start with the Make scenario where, again, it's going to be triggered when you receive a payment. And as you can see, it starts with a Stripe node. Again, I'm using Stripe as the payment collecting software, but you can use whatever you want and also change the trigger from payment received to whatever makes sense to your business. And besides Stripe, we're going to use Airtable for CRM. If you want to, you can use even Google Sheets if it makes it simple for you. Twilio to send messages. Let's say your business doesn't rely really on messages. Just switch this for, let's say, email. Then we use OpenAI as well. And this router here is if the reply from the customer to your private message is either 4 or 5, you are then going to send a final message with the link for the public Google review, right? Because you don't want only more Google reviews, you want better ones. If it's not good, you're going to send, let's say, 0, 1, 2, or 3. You're going to send a Slack message or an email to someone that is in charge in your business to deal with that, because that means customer experience or the product was not good. So someone should deal with that and reach out to the customer. And of course, we don't want to send, in that case, the link for the Google review, right? Alright, so if you don't have accounts with Stripe, Twilio, Airtable, OpenAI and Slack, or the similar ones that I've mentioned, you need to create them before you start building this. So as we mentioned, it starts with a Stripe event. In this case, we're gonna watch event. That's the trigger we want. And the hook that we want, in this case, I'm choosing customer subscription. Because again, I need to choose an example, right? I'm choosing an example where your business, you are selling a service that requires a subscription. So that's why this is the that you're going to use. And if you want something else, you can change from whatever it is here. Just go to add a different hook and you choose here the kind of hook that you want. It can be an invoice, for instance, or a customer subscription. And if you don't have connection yet with Stripe, you just go to add connection type, and here on developers on your Stripe account, you have API keys. That's where you get the information from, and you just add it here. Okay? I'm not doing it because I don't want to show my API key. It's quite simple though. Alright, so let's go with customer subscription. Save. From that, we want to retrieve the customer to this event, which is the subscription. So go to Stripe, look for retrieve a customer, and we're gonna get all the details about that customer. I mean, you should have probably already have, or if you don't, there's something that you can build as well. Let me know if you want help with that on the comments, which is create other solutions to bring customers from payment customers from your Stripe accounts into your CRM. So here you need to add the customer ID, and this is the information that you want, and what you want to retrieve is all his information for now. So let's go with that. And as soon as that happens, you want to update your CRM, right? Always good practice to keep updating your CRM throughout your workflow, every major step, let's say. So in that case, it's gonna really depend on how well is your CRM set up. For instance, if it is super well set up, you would perform here a search or a match for this customer details on your CRM. For this case, I'm gonna assume that you don't have it. So instead of searching for the customer in your CRM, we are going to perform add, or we're going to add that customer to your CRM. In this case, I'm using Airtable. Again, you can use anything from Monday.com to Google Sheet. So let's create a record. Is that what I did? Yeah, create record. And of course, you want to create a connection with Airtable as well. And here is how you can do it. So on your Airtable account, you're gonna go to Builder Hub. Is that it? No. Come on. Where is it? S integration. Why can't I find it? Oh yeah. So when you click account, here you have your APIs, and that's what you want to go to. Just create a new token here, and it should be good to connect with Make. I'm gonna add here the informations, and there you go. But I already have the connection, I already have some bases here, so I'm using onboarding for this example, and I created this table here on Airtable. You can see some examples that I was running just before this video. So right now we're gonna add those guys to the reviewed question mark table. What matters most here is what informations are you adding here. And for this example, that's what I add. I'm gonna explain it in a bit. Oh, name, you want to go with name. This should be blank for now. Email, get information from Stripe, cell phone, and that's it for now. Alright, we save. Now you want to start sending messages with Twilio. For the sake of this example, again, you can do it with WhatsApp, Telegram, or even email. So for that, again, we're gonna, of course, need a Twilio connection, and it's quite easy to connect as well. So as soon as you create your account and you here in your initial dashboard, you're gonna have this account information here, and below here are all the tokens you need to create a connection. I'm not gonna go into that, but you should do it as soon as you create it and create the connection with Make. Also, you're probably gonna use, not probably, you're definitely gonna need to create toll-free number for testing purposes. So you just go to phone numbers, manage, and here you can see that I got this number. Probably you're gonna have like an option here, which is get your first toll-free number for testing purposes, and you're gonna need to verify that. So the verification process for me is in progress. So hopefully by the end of the video it's gonna be done. If not, you're just gonna have to take a word for it. But yeah, so this is the number. So back to Make. Here we're going to create a message, which means send a message. So some softwares you have like the difference between creating something and then sending something. Here in Twitch, when you select create a message, it's already sending it as well. So you're going to select from the phone number. Wait, okay, this is my connection. Again, if you don't have one, you're gonna add here, and you're gonna need to add those SID and the token. And I just showed you, find that on your dashboard, right? So, okay. Let's close this. I'm gonna send a message from phone number, and the phone number should show here. Yeah, this is the number that we want to send information from. And two, you're gonna have the cell phone that you just gathered from the Stripe and add it to your CRM. And the message body should be something like, let me see what I used before. It's here. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we're gonna go with hey, name, because we want it to be personalized. Thanks for trusting LFSA Digital. Here you're gonna replace, of course, with your company's name. By the way, I think I'm gonna make this JSON for this workflow available for you for free. Of course, I'm gonna maybe ask for your email. Yeah, let's see. Anyway, then you want a new line, and how would you rate our services from 1 to 5? Because again, one of the main premises here in this solution that we are building is we not only want better reviews, more reviews, but we also want better ones. So we don't want to encourage someone who had a better experience to send public reviews on Google for you, right? So that's important. Let's save this. What's going on? Okay, yeah, good. And as soon as we do that, we're going to update the CRM again. Remember the best practice I told you about, to update our records and onboarding, review question, record ID, come from this. And what you want to review to change here is the message attempts. And I'm gonna explain that later on. You're just gonna add one here, meaning you just add one message or send one message to that person. Okay, so here comes the mental premises, which is we should allow some time for the people to reply, right? So ideally, what we should be doing is creating multiple scenarios, which should go, you send a message, then the other one will wait for the message, and we should replicate maybe 3 times, meaning if the leads won't reply within, let's say, 3 hours, you send another message. And then if he doesn't reply in 12 hours, you send another message. And if he doesn't reply in 24 hours or whatever it is, you send the final message. Let's say you will try 3 or 4 times asking the client that question before you give up. Here, for simplifying the process, I'm just gonna create one. But bear in mind, when you build it or someone built for you, you wanna have that scenario break down into multiple ones because you want to, again, account for multiple attempts to interact with that client. So here, instead of doing that, I'm just doing like add a sleep note here, and we're gonna wait, let's say, 30 seconds before we look up if that lead reply or not. Again, this is for testing and creating this example only. For production, for real life, you would build multiple scenarios from this point on to detect the message being replied or not based on a given time, 3 hours, 12 hours, whatever that is, and number of attempts that you want to do. Okay, let's go back here. So in drill, you're gonna list messages to see if that lead replied to that question you sent on message or not. And what you want to do to list is from his cell phone to yours, and yours is this phone here, and we want to limit it to 1. Okay. Now that we have this message listed, what we want to do is use AI to detect if that message was a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. The reason we're going to use AI is we could have used just another node to detect or to read the number. I'm just going to use AI because the lead might reply with like maybe a longer text, like if it was great, or he would write 5 with a typo maybe, whatever that is. So we're going to use OpenAI to account for that. And let's go with OpenAI, and we want to create a completion. If you don't have a connection with OpenAI yet, you're gonna go to add here, and you're gonna select a token just like you did for the other ones. It's quite simple and easy, honestly. So you just need to create your OpenAI account. You can just go to Open, log in here, and it's gonna lead you to your account where you're gonna have your API available to create, and then you're gonna be able to create the connection here. You just need an API key. The organization ID is not necessary. So what we want to do is, let's go with, for all, it's going to be quite simple, honestly. So we have two messages here, or prompts, right? The developer or system one and the user one. The user one is the information by the user, in this case, the client that is replying to your messages. So the user is the body message from the client. And the prompt is you're going to tell the module, the LF, what you want from him. Actually, I did something different, didn't I? Yeah, so instead of this module here, this AI node, we're going to use a one that is specifically for transform text to structured data. So we're going to use, let's go with this one. The text to parse is this, and the prompt is, I have it on here already. You are to extract the rating provided via text from a client to a contractor. This rating is X to be a number from 1 to 5. Or from, let's say, from 0 to 5, because client might reply with that. Here you're gonna go with rating description and now from 0 to 5 number. Yeah, that's what you expect. Is this parameter required? Yes. Values example 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whenever you're dealing with large language models, prompts, you always want to give examples. It makes the output so much better. All right, that's good for now. This you can delete. Okay, so now we're going to CRM again with the rating that he or she replied to you. And we want to do a table, update a record, onboarding, reviews, record ID, so on. And what you want to change is the review rating. So this is it. Yep. And you might want to put the comments. No, that's all for now. And that's when we're going to use the router to determine. If it is 4 or 5, we're going to send Twilio message again with the public link, encouraging and asking for the customer to give you a public review. If it's a 0 to 3, we're going to not do that, but instead we're going to send an internal message. It can be Slack, an email. Let's go with email, right? Just because. Or even another Twilio message, but to your manager or someone that is responsible to dealing with customer success, let's say. So, and here is a filter, good review, let's call it good review, which means this rating is number greater than 3, save, and this is the fallback, yep, bad review condition, yeah, it doesn't really matter because we put fallback, but let's just go with it, last 4. Okay, so here we're gonna send another Twilio message, create a message, and it's going to be from phone number, the one that we are verifying with Twilio, and to whom it's going to be to the cell phone here. I have it here. Sorry. Love to hear it. Would you be able to give us a Google review at this link? Maybe, and the link is going to be here. It's really important to us. You can change it to something like it's really important for us to keep providing service, for instance, whatever. And this link here for the public review Google, for you to get the link to send your customers the Google review request, you just go to your Google review account and request review. This is in Portuguese, just because I'm Brazilian. Yes, let's go. And here is the link that you can copy and you can add it to here. Yeah, save. Okay, and here you can create whatever suits you better. Let's go with email. It can be with another message on Twilio, but in this case, let's go from the phone number that you have on your Twilio account to send those messages. And 2, it can be to a very specific number from a manager that you know or from whoever is responsible to deal with that. It can even be your private number if you're running like your local business on your own. So here, it's where you would put the phone number. So let's go with 424 20 9900, for instance, and create a body and say something like, we just received a bad review from a client, deal with it. Pretty straightforward. So the review would be this client info. It should be this name, email, self, 3 at a time, for instance. Got it? Amazing, right? So before we go around testing it, so I'm gonna call it, I should have saved this honestly, YouTube class. Again, you know that I like to call YouTube class to make me sound smarter. Google review step 1. And why step 1? Because the step 2 is gonna be our Google review account, let's say, or let me rephrase that, sorry. Zapier, which is similar to Make, listening to new Google reviews incoming in your Google review profile, in your Google profile, Google business profile actually, sorry, and triggering the follow automation. Let's see, this is it. So on Zapier, we're gonna listen for a new review, update the CRM on Airtable, and it splits into 2 paths. This path is if the review is good, and if it is good, we're going to reply with AI. Because as I mentioned in my video that I linked in this video that you're watching, let's see if that works. I mentioned some statistics to why Google review is so important, and one thing that maybe goes unnoticed is that it's also really important for you to reply to the customers' reviews, and there are numbers attached to it. You should check that out. All right, and we're gonna create this reply with AI, and of course post it to our Google business profile. Now, if the review is not good, you probably can guess it by now, but we're going to send, in this case, it's an email to someone, probably your manager or even yourself, saying that we received a bad review, deal with that. And that is what I like to call redundancy, because you might ask, Luis, the previous automation we only send the Google review link to people who previously or privately send us a good review, 4 or 5. But still, you might get bad reviews from someone that we didn't message or whomever. It might happen. So we want to account for that as well. And that's why in this scenario, we're also accounting for those bad reviews that we are hopefully never gonna get to you because you're good at your job. If you're watching this by now, you're probably really good at your job. Okay, so let's create a new. So Zapier here, you're going to go to Zaps and create. The process of creating a new Zap or a new Make workflow is, or I should say, the process of creating the connections to your Zapier or Make account, meaning all of those things we did with the API token or the personal access token and connecting it to Make. Here is going to be very similar, so I'm not going to go through that all again, but you should, of course, you're going to need to do that as well. And actually, one thing that is good with Zapier, I'll give them this, is they have more built-in connections. So you need to perform much less HTTP requests, for instance, with Zapier than with Make and an A10, for instance. They have been around for longer, I guess, and that's kudos for Zapier. And what you want to connect here is the Google Business Profile. And honestly, the Google Business Profile connection works so much better with Zapier than Make and A10. For some reason, honestly, I haven't dig into it yet, but with Make and A10, you kind of need to fill a form in order to get this connection working as a trigger. So here on Zapier, you just don't. So good for them. The event is new reviews. You're gonna go with continue and link your accounts here. So this is it. You can test the trigger. Yeah, it's working. So the next step is Airtable. Actually create a record here on Airtable and onboarding. Then you're gonna choose this new table here that I created, new reviews received. What do you have? Okay, now let's map the name. This is the name that we want. The comment. This is it. The rating in star is gonna be the number, and the rating in number is gonna be the number. Just because if you put the star rating here, it's gonna return a formatting error. So we don't want that. Continue. If you want to test this step, you're going to see. I should not have posted it yet, but anyway, we can go to our table now and see that a record has just been created. See, this is it. Today is the 23rd. I firstly created this. Oh yes. So mistake here. Let's create this field here. That's where we're going to create the created time. So refresh fields and review received at, and that's where we're going to add the created time. Continue with that step. Now let's see. Yeah, this matches. So yeah, it's good. It was received on 2024. Good. Now we are going to split. We're going to create two paths here. Path A only if, let's say, this is number greater than 3. Continue. Okay. And this must be number less than 4. Continue. So yeah, this doesn't match. That's good. We don't want it to match. Now we're gonna add OpenAI to, it's conversation, right? Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's copy from what I did before, which is conversation, setup. Let's add it, so just so I can copy. This is the user message. So I'm gonna review display. This is the name, the rating, and the text. Good. And here's the system prompt. You are an experienced copywriter at LFSA Automation writing for the owner Luis. Your task to craft short thank you notes to positive reviews on Google. You can read it out here, pause the video, and max tokens. These should be actually limited, so probably 30. It's about 1 to 2 sentences, and we don't want the thank you note to be longer than that. So let's go with 30 tokens, and the temperature should be around 0.7, because the lower it gets, so the lower your temperature is, the less creative or more deterministic the output will be. So see, a number between 0 and 2, higher values like 0.8 will make the output more random, while lower values like 0.2 will make it more deterministic. So actually not 0.7, let's go with 0.5. And response format, the text, yeah, let's go with that. And we can actually test it. Let's test to see what the output should be. Where is it? Thank you, Thiago. Thrilled to hear that the automations are making a difference for your agency. Good, nice. That's the kind of response we want. And finally, we want to update our CRM again, right? Yeah. Oh, I forgot here. So you're gonna do two things. One is Google My Business, wait, Google Profile, and is create a reply, review name, this is it, and the reply is the output from this. Good. I'm not gonna test it because I don't want it to be posted again, but you got what we are doing here. Skip test and Airtable to update the CRM, update record. So what you want is onboarding, new review receipt, record. That's what we want to actually wait. We want it to be this here, and what we want to. So what I'm going to do is create a new column here, which is going to be a multi long text, which is our reply. Let's call it like this. Then we go back there, refresh, and yeah, our reply is going to be this output here. Nice. Let's test. Sorry. Let's go back to the Airtable and see if it is there. Yep, there it is. Nice. Got it. And here it's going to be just the email. So an email, or again, it can be another Twilio message. It can be anything, but send email. And here, that's where you put like your manager or yourself email. In this case, let's go with from. Okay, subject is bad review. We receive a bad Google review. And here you would put the review. So for instance, continue. Let's test it. As soon as I receive the email, I'm gonna show you. Let's publish now, because now you can go live with this automation. Google review YouTube class 2. The one is on make. So here is the email we receive. Bad review received. Receive a bad Google review. Please deal with it. Charles Gonçalves. Of course, this case it doesn't make sense because it was a good review, but was just for testing purposes. All right. So that's it for today. With this, you have a solution that is testing for, or not testing, but accounting for requesting reviews, but only good ones. And the way we deal with that is video message prior to sending the Google review link. Ask for the customer, hey, how was the experience from 1 to 5? And only if the response is 4 or 5, then we send the Google link for the public review. And as soon as we receive that, that's the Zapier part, we are dealing with it in such a way that we are using AI to reply, because we know from the statistics I posted on the video that is linked somewhere here, it's also crucial for you to reply to the Google reviews, comments you receive. And again, dealing with the bad ones. So if you receive a bad one, you're not going to use AI to automatically reply. Rather, you're sending this case to whomever is in charge in your business, it can be yourself or someone else, to deal with that case, right? Let me know if that's helpful. I'm gonna try to make available the JSONs, meaning the scenarios that we built here, at least the make one, because it might be trickier or less intuitive. So this one I can download, export this blueprint, and with that you can create your own make account and just import this file, and it's gonna populate like this. You're just gonna have to connect to your account. I think I've covered everything. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're amazing, and please like, subscribe, and do all of those things here in the channel. Cheers!